So the Best Of project started because I was introduced to science fiction through finding the best of whatever year it was, 1982, in the local libraries when I was a kid. And I would go into the library looking for the thickest books that I could find, and the Best Of collections were always satisfyingly hardy looking. So I learned about a lot of authors that way, and once I realized that we had enough mass and momentum at Raconteur Press to do a Best Of anthology, and I don't know that anyone else is doing anything like that these days. Short stories had kind of reached a lull, and so I wanted to revive that and bring it back. And that's where the Best Of started. And it's kind of snowballed because that was a really big project. I did not realize how big it was going to be when I took it on.
So why do we ask Ben Neal to be our editor?
We asked Ben because if anyone knows about short stories and choosing quality, it's Ben. Ben has been reading and appreciating for, I'm not even going to guess at how long, but long enough to know better. And so when I asked him if he would be willing to edit this and select the top 10 out of the peer-voted selections, he said yes, and I was blown away because that's a generous offer of his time in this, which we deeply appreciate.
I was, like Cedar, absolutely blown away. It gave me an excuse to read more short stories, and since when I grew up reading science fiction, much of it was in the magazines, which meant that it was full of shorter works. And so I grew up reading shorter works, and this gave me an excuse to read even more shorter works. I did not have the time to have read all 24 anthologies that Raconteur Press put out last year. I read some of them, but certainly not all. But this gave me a chance to get a pre-selection by the peers of what they thought were a likely group of the best. And this meant that I could get an excuse to read 25 pre-selected short stories, and I jumped at the excuse. And I've been reading them. I am continuing to read them. I'm reading them slowly because you don't want to try reading 25 short stories all at once. But I've been taking advantage and reading them slowly and carefully. And I'm sort of challenged by figuring out which are going to be the best out of 25 really good stories.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. More good stuff to read. Can't ever turn that down.
No.